Jim got in when there was still a draft.
Yeah.
Is that the big dividing line between the generations, that there was no draft when either one of you
Well,
were
I
in?
think that's a dividing line, but 9/11 is also a dividing line.
Yes.
And you went back in.
I came back in. I had a 4-year break. I went to acting school. There it is, right there on the corner, Circle and Square Theater School. I got out in '97, went there for 2 years, had an acting career going on, I was doing real well. And then when 9/11 happened, October '01, I signed a contract. March of '02, I was released.
Can I jump
Time
in?
to run off the back
Of course
with that.
you're the legend.
And scene.
No, I don't know about legend, but I want to jump in for a reason because, generationally, right? When I came in, it's not just about the draft. They had the Marine Armies, they had women, they had WACs, Women's Army Corps. Segregation was in full effect.
Right on, yeah.
And I remember when I was in jump school back in 1972.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
They came around with a petition, the politicians. And before that, you had to stand out 5 at a time. Next 5, you get 10 minutes to get your food, eat, and get out. That was it.
This is jump school.
That was anywhere.
Oh, anywhere. Yeah, it's just the way it
But
was.
in jump school, they came up and they had a petition. And we showed up one day and they said, if you vote for the all-voluntary army, and they wanted to sign this petition because you have so many votes. And we went in, they had trash cans full of friggin' drinks. They had steaks on the grill. You didn't have 10 minutes to eat.
Wow.
Everybody signed it, right? So look
There's
where we are
machine
today.
politics here in New York City, like back in 1890.
Yes, it is. It is.
Look where we are today, right? So it's not just that. And I got to tell you, I can go all the way back to when I was a little 5 and 6, 7, 8-year-old in Georgia, before segregation. The blacks, whites, whatever, they were on different sides of the track, whatever you want to call it. It's all cool. We were good friends. There was nothing that, when you, later in life, before that, used to force busing, I was part of that too. And
Wow,
suddenly,
man, that's
it's
cool.
not because they sent you, 5 or 10 miles across town. You got to get up earlier, you got to have different transportation. People were pissed off because they weren't in their home, right? Before that, blacks and whites got along fine. I mean, there's always groups of haters out there.
Right.
I'm not one of those, right? So, but they we got along with everybody. I can remember very vivid images when I was a child, right? Of, interracial work.
You guys got along
play.
okay. You guys got along okay.
great.
They always slag on the South and say that's BS.
We got
that was
along
always BS.
like great. Then they started this forced integration, right? Then everybody's like, I don't want to be there. I hate you. I don't know what the hell's happening.
That's interesting.
I'm not that smart, but it is a different generation.
I remember you
that's
told
funny,
me.
man.
You told me one time, Jim, the price of gas and cigarettes from when you got into the army
Yeah.
to when you got out of.
Yeah, 10 or $15 for cigarettes, $49 for a gallon of gas. I mean, 49 cents. I'm sorry. And what was really
Can you
funny,
imagine 49 cents for a gallon? I think it was like $1 or something when I was in college in the
It was
early
like
80s.
something when I was.
Well, I'm going to wake you up
In the
here.
South.
Oh boy.
So I went to Germany in the early 70s, and we were laughing because the dollar exchange rate was so friggin' high.
It was great, probably.
It
Then,
was
right?
great.
Yeah.
Our dollar was worth $4 or $5 of theirs. We could do anything we wanted.
Yeah.
And the gallon of gas over
Why do I
there
feel like
was-
a strip club story is about to... why do I feel like...
So what did you do with that money, Jim?
Yes, Jim.
What did you spend it on?
there was some extra
The silence... The silence...
A brand new BMW.
So anyway,
That hesitation. Was
So anyway, I'm turning red, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
That's Fräuleins.
Yeah.
yeah. But we used to joke about the cars, the economical situation, because we were so strong and powerful and dominant in those days. And you know what? Mom could stay at home and raise the kids, and families were happy.
Yeah, right on.
Stuff was great, right? So now I go outside. Every car looks like a damn jelly bean.
Yep.
They get 20. It's the exact same thing that we were looking at over there when I was in the military deployed in Germany.
We're on that
Europe.
level now, you're saying.
Yeah, and we're exactly on that level.
Yeah, that's
same
true.
price of gas
That's
now
a good point, yeah, man.
as it was then. And I did drive
Huh.
to East Berlin back then. Before
Did
the
you
wall
really?
came down. Yes.
I think, that's crazy. And I agree. I think also, I've told people this too about the military. It's interesting about the whole Southern thing and segregation. I think the military, for me anyway, and you guys chime in if you think, one of the few egalitarian places that there is.
But
Right?
that's been addressed before, though, and
I think
Nick
so.
Irving,
Yeah.
who you are friends with, this has been a question that, after the presidency of Truman and the integration of the military, any special forces, you don't get in. If you can't qualify,
You're not getting in.
You
got to find us. And the thing is, too, once you find us, everybody gets equally hammered. You know what I mean? Like everybody gets through.
We're all equally ruthless.
Everybody gets crushed. And then the thing is, when everybody gets equally crushed, everybody equally succeeds or equally fails.
It brings
And-
people closer
right.
together.
Let me bring
Mutual suffering is what.
But there's a
mutual
pop
suffering is what
culture
develops
thing
the
that,
unit.
though, right? I mean, is there not a movie about the military where there's not that scene where some sergeant is saying, "I don't care who you are,"
Right.
and runs through a list of,
I don't care where you're
right,
Sergeant Hulk in Stripes. I
Right.
don't care where you're from.
Full
I
Metal
don't care
Jacket.
what color you are.
Biloxi
Jacket.
Blues was the best.
I don't care who you are. Christopher Walken,
That's a good movie.
Merwin J. Toomey doesn't care
Right.
who you are.
Well,
Is that
That's the interesting thing about the military and special forces and special operations in general included is that you take a bunch of guys, throw them together, and they have to perform and execute whatever their mission is. Those guys end up becoming more like each other and less like the people from wherever they came from.
I got to say something about this. When my wife met, when I came back in after 9/11, I had to go through like this paramedic bridge course down in Tampa, and there was a whole bunch of dudes down there. And so Steph, who was wasn't my wife then, she flew down to visit me, and she met everybody, and she goes, "You guys all look alike."
Yeah.
But we don't look alike. She goes, "No, it's not that you look alike. You guys are kind of all alike."
It's like
It's in the eyes.
the way
Is
they-
there-
Yeah, and,
Now-
I always thought that was a funny thing because she goes, "You guys are a lot nicer than I thought you would be." Like everybody's very polite, except for West. But
No, we're all
no,
nice.
you are though. You know what I'm saying? Though we're rough, but we're not. And I always thought it was interesting because there's black guys, Spanish guys, Asian. We don't give a crap what you look like. But she goes, "You guys all kind of look alike," and she goes, "Nah, it's not that you look alike. You guys are kind of all the same."
It's the way the guys stand.
All right, so let me ask you that. Is there a personality?
It's a culture. It's a
Is there a
culture.
personality? Is there a personality that, regardless of who you are, there's a personality type that is going to be the person?
I would say there's probably like maybe 5 different personalities.
Yeah, there's a few, man. I
Yeah,
think so
yeah,
too.
yeah.
And
But the medics are always in their own world.
well, we like boys because we have to in the 18 Delta course. We're always handling naked guys.
So what am I? No,
What was your MOS as an enlisted guy?
Well, I started out as a combo guy,
Oh, okay.
and I ended up as a team leader.
Okay.
So I went through a whole.
What was your MOS?
Bravo.
Oh, you're a weapons guy.
Yeah.
But I was an infantryman before.
And I was too. I was a
82nd,
grunt. I was a
right.
grunt in the 82nd. That helped a lot, actually.
Yeah.
To be able to keep up a fast Freddy.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
all the
I
high
started
school-
off in the infantry as a Carl Gustav gunner, sniper, and then a team leader in weapons squad. So
That's an awesome background to take to
Becoming an
SF.
18 Bravo just made sense.
Easy. Yeah. And as a grunt too,
Well,
I noticed it
well,
helped
a
me a
Ranger
lot.
tab is a big thing to take to.
That too.
It helped a lot.
Yeah.
It helped a lot. Even in the Q course, there was 2 guys.
Well,
that-
it's not just what you know; it's how you get there.
yeah, man.
I got a rock in my desk in my office that says "Never Quit." And remember, I came through when the Battle of the Green Beret, 100 guys to test today, and 3 will wear the Green Beret. Well, there's a lot of truth to that because in the old days, you didn't recycle. Oh, I can't make it. My foot hurts. I'll come back next course. You fail, you're done.
Oh, you're out. Yeah.
So
okay,
you
right,
take
right.
your
So that's another
injuries.
generational thing, right? Because guys can get recycled.
Yeah, guys get recycled through the course. Yeah, they can.
Back then, you take.
But you don't get recycled if you quit.
No.
That's it. And
Yeah.
you and I were talking, I think, the other night, and you guys tell me, man, like I'm completely average on all things, physical, mental, all that. But what I did was everything I've done in the military, and I think that maybe comes. You probably learned it growing up tough in Georgia as a kid, kind of having a scrap for stuff. I don't know how you were raised, but for me, like I was a football player from 5th grade all the way through college, and so for me, I always understood when they were beating on us in basic training in the Q course. I know what you're doing. I get that whole team development.
They're preparing you for war.
They're actually beating the hell out of you because that way you also, like I said, mutual suffering is what actually bonds a unit. Not we're all the same color or no. It's mutual getting your ass kicked, and so. I've always thought that's what made it different.
That's the problem I have.
It's a
today
common
with
bond.
It's a common bond, and the
With
common
the-
bond is getting your butt kicked together.
The problem today with the political correctness in the military.
That's gonna
like
kill us.
Hazing and harassment. It's like you have to understand. Yeah, there's some hazing. There's a point where it can become unprofessional, but you're preparing young men freaking war.
Right.
They're going to go to war, and you think the enemy is going to play nice with them?
Right, and you know this,
Yeah.
you grew up that way, but like a lot of people right now in America, it's the ironic thing is that the American soldier has been around to allow the American citizens, which I see walking outside, to be self-indulgent and to live their lives. What they do to us, though, is take that away from you, so that we can protect that.
They want to castrate
The whole point is, though.
So there used to be a saying that
Make it tough.
that which we support and defend is not what we live in.
No,
Oh, that's good. I never heard that. That's totally true. It's totally true. It's
and
totally
that job,
true.
being whether it's the infantry or special forces, that job is completely different. I encounter this all the time with civilians. It is not a job at IBM.
No.
It's not a job at Microsoft.
I could
or
not have a
Google.
job in a normal.
And the things that might work in that corporate setting don't work in the military.
Trust me,
In
I've
war,
been retired
combat
23 years, and
conditions.
I struggle with the corporate setting every day. I mean,
Yeah,
I work for a Fortune 500 company, right? And I got to put up with all the politics.
How do you run into those walls though? Because a guy like you with your background, like, how do you not get sued or get in trouble
Or drop an elbow.
or drop an elbow or like come over and like nail
well,
somebody?
for me, it's different. I put, just like whether it be, Navy SEALs or Force Recon or Ranger Battalion or
Can we
Special
talk?
Forces.
Can we talk shit about the SEALs in a
Yeah,
minute?
we can. Yeah.
We'll get to that.
But let me tell you, to me, it's all about.
I'm not going to be talking anything about anybody.
Hey, listen, but to me, it's all about family. And the most important thing to me is my family. And that's not the people that pay me a paycheck every day.
Yeah,
that's the
right.
team. Sometimes. My son, I'll sacrifice for him.
Right.
Right? So the deal is, somebody needs to be elbowed, knocked down, fucked up. They really should be.
Yeah,
Excuse
yeah,
my
right.
language.
No, don't.
But the deal is, you just have to have a focus, and it's the same focus when you've been patrolling for 3 weeks and you're hungry and it's nighttime and the weather sucks, or you're laying in the ocean and you're getting drowned and you're like, what the hell am I doing? And you know what? You just stay on point, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. So you put up with crap from people that couldn't walk a minute in your shoes, not less a mile.
Right.
And you just deal with it, until you die or things come right.